Well. I cannot believe we are live. Pop out your stream dashboard, monitor, same stream. Okay, good. That's fantastic. I can't tell if I have any audio here. I would like for Marion to get on her phone and go see if I'm live on YouTube. Be sure and hit the like button and subscribe if you can. And please be sure and share. I want to try to get 100,000 subscribers by September on this channel. This is my first time back on YouTube in a long time, and kind of coming in at a bad time when everyone is demonetizing or being demonetized, blacklisted, and dropped off the channel for having the wrong kind of narrative, I guess. Not, uh, you know, not following the left script there that everybody's following now, and having a lot of ideas that just do not fit with the World Economic Forum, the WEF, and the WHO. And we've got all this tremendous censorship coming down on all of these platforms, which I think is a travesty. And I think it's devastating to our country. And I have to ask myself, what do these people have to hide, that want to censor us and want to stifle our voice? Um, I need to get my producer to tell me how long I can be on here. But wanted to just come on today, really, and see how this looks, and it looks pretty good. I'm happy with the video, and I think she's happy with the audio so far, and everything is looking good. We've had a lot of great talk shows over on my other channel, which eventually I'll be putting here, so y'all can drop by Monday through Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. on my show, The Lone Wolf, over there on Broadcaster, huh? And so, I think it's really, really important that we start coming together as a community now, a collective, if you will, as diverse as we are in our opinions and ideals and ideas and ideologies and philosophies and belief systems and religions and dogmas and creeds and traditions. It seems to me that we could still all come together on a few major issues, especially those concerning the children that are having to go through this public education system right now, and some of the crazy, insane things that are going on in that particular bureaucracy. I call it a bureaucracy because it is. I know a lot of people are putting their children in private schools now and homeschooling now, and that will probably become illegal at some point to homeschool. And of course, depending on your social credit score, you may not even be able to put your child in a private school. I'm noticing that CBDC, or central banking digital currency, is getting closer and closer to all of us. I'm starting to see the double, triple verifications come up on the phones and the computer as we navigate our way through this digital matrix. Starting to see all of these draconian, crazy things start to happen. And, I've been making these predictions for years, long before any of these things started actually happening, and people thought that I was a little bit off my rocker. And now they're coming back and saying, well, you were right, Kyler. You were right all along, and every single thing that you predicted would be coming is now here, staring us right in the face. And for some of you, you know, it's hard to swallow a lot of the things that are coming out concerning artificial intelligence, artificial general intelligence, quantum computing, and the massive amount of technology that has gone into these mind control programs that we have the U.S. patents for in our possession. And of course, Dr. Greer's work, Dr. Stephen Greer over there, the ufologist who has been interviewing some of the top intelligence agents around the world concerning these UFOs and UAVs. This is all coming out now, and people they'd rather not talk about it. Some people would rather just not even know about it. Some people just think it's completely insane and all made up. It's all real, folks. It's all real, and it's about as real as it gets in this non-reality. Of course, we're not living in a reality base. We're not living in base reality. We're not even living in the substrate, whatever that might be. We're running on some kind of sophisticated DOS system, as I always say, a dream within a dream, a simulation, building a simulation, building a simulation. I wonder how many times that's happened in the last 25,000 years or so, or the last million years or so, or even more. We still have a lot of people who don't understand the geopolitical situation in the Middle East, what's happening with China and Taiwan, what's happening with Russia and Ukraine, what's happening between Israel and Palestine there and the West Bank. A lot of horrible things going on, a lot of terrible things going on. And of course, the United States is losing traction. Uh, it wouldn't win any popularity contest at this time, at least not our current administration would definitely not win any popularity contest at all. Trump seems to be moving ahead in the polls. I'm looking forward to the 2025 elections to see how that goes. I'm also monitoring Texas border to see how that's going to go with Biden trying to push back on the state National Guards coming in to these cities. 20 states signed on to bring in troops to the governor there, Abbott, and try to help him work out some of these crazy, crazy things that are going on there with hundreds of thousands of immigrants coming over the border. And of course, we're not sure exactly what many of them are coming over for. It seems like a very nefarious kind of diabolical dystopic thing that's going on from all of our reports coming out of the FBI. We had three FBI retired intelligence agents come out last week and say that something very bad is about to happen. Something very terrible is about to ensue, and that everyone should be ready. Everyone should be prepared, and it's going to be uh, terrible. What's going on here? We're being divided from the inside out. We're being gutted, literally gutted from the inside out here in the USA Incorporated, and it is incorporated, by the way. Many of you probably didn't know that. You have lost your sovereignty. You've lost your freedom of speech. We're losing our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, our Declaration of Independence. And of course, we still have this Israel situation going on where we're sending billions of dollars to Israel, to the Jesuits and to the Khazarian groups there, and the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, to go in and and do their operations in Gaza. And so 150, 180,000 Palestinians have been killed there. Unlike in Israel, where there's been like 200, I think, people killed even after the raid that was done. That was said to be an inside job or with Netanyahu and or the IDF or some other entity or agency within that administration, allowing those borders to be open, allowing those fences to be cut, and allowing the Houthis or Hamas to come in and do the work that they did, stealing all of the computers and software and things from Israel. Every country in NATO or who claims to be in NATO is on high alert right now. They've evoked, I guess, Article 1 and all of these other major war articles um, everywhere. Everybody's climbing into their bunkers, making sure that they're nice and clean and ready to go for the big bang. that might be coming. And if you look at all the data points and you study and research the geopolitical situation, you would see that yes, something major is coming down the pike. And it's amazing to me of the number of people that are uninformed, uneducated, and have no idea what's going on in the Middle East or even at the southern border. This is unbelievable when we consider 280,000 plus came over in January. In December, another 250,000 or so came over, immigrants. And all the bleeding hearts out there, of course, want them to come in and get shelter and housing and food and clothing and education and so forth. But not, I don't think all of these people are coming here to blend in with our culture, our traditions, and I don't think they're coming in to as a benefit to this country when we're taking so many resources from the people here, the veterans, the homeless, and others who need uh, that influx of money that's being sent to Ukraine and laundered back into the United States in many different crazy ways. I think we've we've crossed the line with Russia so many times. We've crossed the red line with Russia so many times. I'm surprised they haven't uh, pulled a major offensive yet and done a whole lot more than they have done. Uh, you hear many different stories from the generals and the retired intelligence agents saying that Ukraine has lost. And it is my opinion that they have lost the game. It seems like NATO keeps pushing, the Biden administration keeps pushing and pushing and pushing for Ukraine to keep poking the bear. And I don't think this is going to be a good outcome, nor do I think China should be flying these reconnaissance missions and spy missions over Taiwan. We've got soldiers on the ground in all of these countries. Many of them we should not be there at all. And we've done this since the Gulf of Tonkin in Vietnam. We've had these wealthy fat cats funding both sides of the war, and of course Raytheon and Grumman and GE, General Electric, and all these other weapons manufacturers and top secret or agencies that build all of this high tech technology that goes into these wars, like drones and tanks and bunker busters and satellites and all of these other things, are making a killing off of this stuff. And then we went through the the 20 went through you know the downside of businesses closing, people losing their homes, jobs, cars, vehicles, transportation, and depression was running rampant. Stress was high, and it was a terrible thing that we had to experience. And I've got a very strong feeling that we're going to have to experience that again very, very soon. They're saying that this new disease X, they're calling it, has a 100% fatality rate. I'm learning a lot about how long this has been going on, how long they've had this in the bucket, to lay out on us, and it's been a while. They've known that this was going to be injected into the program, so it's just a very scary thing for many of you, and for those of you who have been vaccinated. I know that many of you are worried about the VAERS reports and all of the other statistics that are coming out that are not good at all. And here they are now trying to push another vaccine on us. I heard they were on top of another big vaccine here, working on it. That the American public is not too keen on all of this after what's been happening over the last 4 years, 5 years. And Event 201 was kind of weird. They kind of made the prediction of what was going to happen exactly. Bill Gates and Dr. Fauci lying to Congress, coming in and telling all these big fibs. This is all public knowledge. I mean, it's not like I'm making this stuff up. It's all there for you to see if you'll look at Dr. David Martin's research, one of the greatest forensic analysts on the planet. So I'm not giving any false information out here that the YouTube could say, "Oh, that's false." We checked it. Well, fact check all you want, and I'll send you 1,000 videos that will prove my point. As being right and factual and to the point. um, I think the problem with this whole fact check thing is we just simply don't need it. It's a form of control, top down control. It's a form of Marxism, communism, if you will. It's a form of socialism. It's a form of totalitarianism. It's even a small form of dictatorship. When you start telling people what to say and how to say it, when to say it, you're 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 going down a very, very dangerous road, and we are going down that road right now as I sit here and speak. I'm having to be kind of careful as to what I say here on this new YouTube channel that I'm putting up. And I don't like that at all. I would like to hear somebody say hello in chat. If you're out there, jump on and say hi. It is 3:16 p.m. here in the Northwest. The date is January 27th, 2024. Glad to have all of you here. I ask that you please share this video far and wide because we do so much out here. We have the disaster team. We've been running like crazy during this ice storm, rescuing people from their vehicles and from people that had flipped off in the ditches and people that were slipping and sliding and running into things and getting trapped in their cars and people falling down, senior citizens falling on the ice. We had a major ice storm, which, by the way, The Simpsons predicted all of this on The Simpsons, which is kind of odd. They're always predicting things and coming out perfect. It makes you kind of wonder how that works. Well, maybe the fact that we live in a simulation, maybe that's how it works. And not even maybe, but we do live in some sort of complex uh, simulation. And I would even say, go as far as to say that it's far, far beyond quantum, something that we haven't even begun to touch yet, something that we haven't even begun to think about yet. And the computer systems are already running at quintillions of parameters per second, and these computer programs are sentient. They have a form of consciousness that we don't understand. Now they're trying to meld everyone with the Borg. Harara over there at the WEF, Klaus Schwab's assistant there, has been saying that we don't need a soul, we don't need a spirit anymore. We just need to meld with the Borg. We need to become a part of the machine. And that's where it's headed right now, folks, is the chip, the RIFD chip, the quantum dot tattoo, the quantum um, major quantum surveillance programs that are being instituted and have been instituted around the world from space to ground technology. Uh, and this is following you daily, the facial profiling, the gaslighting, the biometric systems, the biosensors that are inside of our bloodstream now, breaking the blood-brain barrier with through nanoparticulate technologies. And of course, we've talked about CRISPR and we've talked about RNA, DNA, and the helix. We've talked about the third dimension versus the 12th dimension. We've talked about string theory and other worlds uh, theory and philosophy. And I've gone in depth in the forever chemicals that are here 14, 15,000 forever chemicals, maybe more. Some of you have those exact numbers. You might want to put them in chat. And the chemtrails, of course, with selenium and barium and strontium and aluminum oxide and cesium 137 and all of the other graphene technology that they're using now to bring into the avatar to allow them to control the attitudes and behaviors and the mindset of each and every individual on the planet. We have those U.S. patents, and they're scary to read. Thousands of pages we actually have of these U.S. patents on my, and these new technologies would make MK Ultra look like um, a chemistry set that you would buy a 4-year-old. I mean, we've come so far beyond what people say MK Ultra, MK Ultra, MK Ultra. Forget MK Ultra. MK Ultra is antiquated. Put that in the attic on the shelf. They're doing things now that are beyond mortal comprehension or avatar comprehension. They're doing things now that are just so unbelievably unbelievable that it's hard to even find the words to describe or discuss what they're actually doing and for what reasons. I have my own theories on all of this. I have my own opinions, my own ideas on all of this as to why they're doing these things. Some of them are not very popular. I don't really know if YouTube's going to allow me to talk about some of these things. I'm going to ease into this, and as we go along, I'll find out, I guess, as YouTube tells me you can do this and you can't do that, and so forth and so on. I'm doing some stuff on Rumble, also Twitch, yeah, and uh, doing some stuff on uh, Spreaker. I got a Spreaker going. And then, of course, over there at KilerDavenport.com, you can find me on air Monday through Friday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Pacific time, um, and many other platforms that we run simulcast on. I don't know how many there is, 8, 7, 6, I'm not sure. But we're doing our best to try and hang on here. It's getting to the point. This is really, like I said, a bad time for me to get into YouTube and build a program and try to be a content provider because of the massive censorship that's going on right now. It's literally unbelievable, the censorship that's taking place right now. It's over the top, crazy, and it's just insane what you can and cannot say on these platforms, and it's in no way uh, the American way, and it's they're taking away our sovereignty, our freedom, and promising us the moon and the stars and the sun, when in fact they're blotting out the moon and the stars and the sun, and with all of this technology, and they're using the excuse of climate change. We don't need to worry about climate change. We need to worry about geo weather modification and geoengineering weather modification. We need to worry about what the deep state is doing and the dark state is doing in all of these black ops programs and black book programs and off book programs that's going on, costing trillions of dollars. And we have free energy that's not being released. We have these patents that have been locked up under national security. They're not allowing these patents on free energy to get out because you could power your whole house with a little gadget the size of a shoebox, and they don't. They definitely don't want that to happen. We definitely have Tesla's papers. Some of them were put under national security, locked up, and we do have enough to know that free energy is there, 0 point energy is there. This is how they're running the UAVs, the UFOs. This is how they're powering these craft, is 0 point energy. And we do know that we have been communicating with extraterrestrials now for a long, long time. Uh, Most of the people that I listen to are able to kind of wiggle their way back 25,000 years or so. Even if some of that is just off the cuff opinion or hypothesis, it's very interesting when you read the ancient text. Many of you do not read the ancient text. Many of you have not read hardly anything. Many of you don't do the research that's required to get where a really good influencer is or can be a content provider, to be able to give this information out straight where people can grasp it and try to understand it or overstand it, some of you like to say. Um, terminology like understanding is a bad thing because you're understanding someone. I don't really get into all that silliness. Um, I don't get into the sovereign citizen silliness, silly cinema there. That's just people asking to go to jail. They're begging the police to put them in handcuffs and take them to the gulag. Having a big argument out there on the street as they're stopped by the law enforcement. Rolling their window down a half inch and giving the police a hard time. You don't want to do that. That's just stupid. You're going to end up in bracelets. You're going to end up in a cage every single time. I have friends that do this over and over and over and over and over again, and they stay on probation, parole. They're couch hopping. They're homeless because they're always in jail or trying to get out of jail or headed back to jail because they're sovereign citizens. And let me tell you right now, there's no such thing as a sovereign citizen. It is impossible to be sovereign and a citizen at the same time. You're either sovereign or you're a citizen. And if you're a citizen, you're contracted with the New World Order. You're contracted with the new reset. You're going with the CBDC. You're going with the digital ID. You're going with the social credit score. You're going to go along with the melding with the Borg, the RIFD chip, and so forth and so on. And so that you have to get your stuff straight there, and you have to be able to dive in and comprehend, what is really going on here. We none of us know exactly what's going on, but many of us know more than most about what's going on because we research 40 and 50 hours a week, and so we look at 100 different videos, with 100 different content providers going in deep and doing the research, and then we make a decision as to what we're going to bring out here on this channel. And it's not always right, it's not perfect. We make a lot of mistakes, but at the same time, we really put our heart into trying to bring you the stories that help you to navigate this very, very complex matrix and be able to have less stress and less depression and less worry in the process. It's a tough world that we live in. It's a tough place and space that we live in, and it's very difficult for people. Many people have unalived themselves over this. It's so depressing. Many have turned to drugs and alcohol, and many have just become so depressed and down and out that they're so broken they've become homeless. They've lost their family, their wives, their children. So we're living in some very hard times, some very dangerous times, some very deadly times, and we're living in some times that are very, very difficult to assess. Huh? Okay, I'm going to wrap it up. My producer tells me we need to learn a little bit more about. I think I have 30 minutes or something today, but I love all you guys and girls out there. I'm really rooting for all of you to be able to get through this maze, this matrix, this massive confusion that's going on all over the world right now. But there are people waking up. There are people coming alive. There are people raising that frequency to a higher level. As you know, it's all about energy, frequency, and so I'll see you all soon. I'll be doing one of these every day at 3 o'clock, and I appreciate all of you very, very much. Please share the video. Like I said, my goal is to get up there 100,000 by September subscribers. Thank you much, and I'll see you next time. This is the Lone Wolf, Kiler Davenport, signing out. Bye bye.